What is up, Yub2? Today, we are going to be talking about what I learned as starting a business in 2022 and some things you may want to look out for when starting your own business or some things to consider. But before we get into that, I want to ask, please leave a like on the video and hit the subscribe button. Only 2% of you are watching this video are subscribed, and it would mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe button. And hit that notification bell. Whenever we upload Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, you're going to get notified saying, hey, the video is up. We usually post around 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So just be on the lookout, or just hit the notification bell and you don't have to be on the lookout. So you want to start a business in 2022 or any year in the future. This is going to be stuff that I learned setting up a business and running the business as an entrepreneur. Now, being an entrepreneur is a way different aspect of working and being under someone else. Working at Chick-fil-A and working as an umpire were great experiences in the fact that I learned some basics of customer service, but then at the same time, how to work under people and be a reliable employee. But when you start your own business, that back wall of things to fall on, of knowing like, oh, this doesn't sound bad, but having the ability to be like, oh, I'm not the owner of this business. That's that guy, and he's more responsible than I am, so don't fault me. So when you're starting a business, you don't have to worry about it, but you have the sole responsibility of the business on your shoulder. Now, what does that mean? There's two ways you can approach this, and it can be quite daunting. But here's the thing. The two ways is, one, you can allow this to weigh yourself down and be completely standstill due to anxiety, or you can allow this to build your anxiety and put you on a sharp edge that allows you to just outcompete and just allows you to perform better. Now, there's those two different ways, and I watch people that start businesses, they just allow themselves to get weighed down and bogged down, and this albatross that's around their neck is just choking them and just dragging them to the floor. And it's really sad because their ideas may be so good, but they're so afraid, and they're allowed the anxiety of knowing that they're responsible. Yes, you're responsible. This is an opportunity. Be responsible and allow for yourself to drive forward and grow your business. Don't just use the angst to just sit down and be like, I can't do this. Don't give up. When you set out to be an entrepreneur, know that there's going to be anxiety, there's going to be stress, but don't just let that weigh on your shoulders and become a weight that just drags behind you that doesn't allow you to move freely. You're free. When you start your own business, you're free to do whatever you want. You're free to make decisions. Now, sometimes being free is a really bad thing because sometimes people just don't want to do right by the customers. And that's something that's really important when starting a business. You need to put your customers as a priority. You need to be responsive. You need to be able to be reached by email or by instant chat on Instagram or whatever. You need to make sure the customers know what they're getting into. They need to know that they're gonna get the product. Because here's the thing. In 2022, the supply chain has been just completely ruined. Getting products takes a lot longer than it should. Shipping hasn't been guaranteed. Shipping's been expensive. It's just been a little chaotic. But here's the thing. Don't take that as a bad thing. This is what's really cool about that. Now what you're seeing is people that have their own ideas and are pursuing building their own products and being entrepreneurs and selling whatever they make themselves. They're seeing a massive boost because they're not tied to the restraints of the supply chain. They can charge what they want for their product, and they can charge for shipping, so they don't have to worry about the shipping cost increasing, and they don't have to worry about, am I getting this product in? Is the release date going to be on time? Am I going to be able to release on time? Am I going to get the product at all? Is my distributor going to leave me on red? Whatever. You don't have to worry about that. So producing your own product puts you in control in a lot of ways. It allows for you to know when the product's going to be made. If you run out of stock of something, you just have to make more of it. You can see demand for the product and stop focusing on things that aren't selling and start focusing on things that are selling. Or the great thing about making your own product is if one product, I'm going to talk about candles, for example. 1 scent or one jar is selling more than anything else, you can start implementing attributes of that jar to the things that aren't selling as much. That way you can see if there's a relationship to how the jar looks, what the scents are offered, maybe the color coordination, if there's how the wax looks, what kind of wick you use, all of that stuff. I do love candles. I love how they smell. So I've always wanted to make my own candles, but at the same time, I don't want to worry about having to learn all that stuff. But I digress. But at the same time, the same thing is with coffee. You do have to worry about getting the coffee beans in, but once you have control of that coffee and you get the product in, you have complete control of the production process. You have complete control of the release dates. You have complete control of the packaging. So if anything goes wrong, you can fix it. But the thing is with retail, sometimes when you're at the subject of a distributor, if a distributor can't get something past customs or can't get something in their inventory by release date, you may not get the product by release date either. And you're completely at the will of the distributor. And that's what's really cool about having your own shop and having your own production is you have control over the wholesale. You don't have to worry about distributors. You can wholesale because you're producing yourself, or you can buy it. So let's go back to coffee. If you're sourcing beans from Colombia, you work directly with the farms in Colombia that produce the coffee beans. And you just have to work with them. And as long as they're happy, they're going to help do whatever they can to get the product to you. So if you're paying them good enough, if you're making sure that they're okay, you're taking care of them, they're going to get you the product. And then it makes your life so much easier. Now, there is sometimes restraints with customs and importing stuff. So usually if you're making candles or whatever, you want to buy from American-based companies so you don't have to worry the supplies you need to produce your product being seized by customs. You can just continue to produce, and you will always have the supplies to produce. And that's what's really cool. If you want to see me interview anyone that's set up their own businesses and producing, I can. And I think it would be a really cool thing for everyone to see, because there's a lot of unique people that produce items and that do everything themselves. Like if you're in the business of plastics or 3D modeling, all you have to worry about is taking a customer's order. If it's a custom order by a customer, all you have to worry about is applying the order and figuring out a way to produce it, and then getting the sourcing of the plastic. And once you get the sourcing of the plastic done, you have complete reign. And that's what I'm trying to drive home, is that when you start your own business, you have free reign. But at the same time, if you're starting a retail business that relies on distributors, you are very subject to the distributor or the wholesalers of the product. But if you're producing your own product, you are the wholesaler. You can work with relations with producers that can source you the product directly. So if you're in plastics, if you're in coffee, if you're in candles, you can work with people that directly source wax, scents, essential oils. And for coffee, you can directly work with the source of coffee beans and coffee farms. If you're in plastics, just working with plastic manufacturers. And that way you don't have to worry about the middleman. Now, that's the cool thing about business is when you are producing your own thing, you have full responsibility, but at the same time, because you have full responsibility, you're allowed to be a lot more open with what's going on. You're not tied to contracts and whatever. On the retail side, you are tied to contracts. Your distributors sometimes has you sign an NDA. It sometimes has you sign contracts that don't allow you to talk about product and whatnot that's coming out. And the wholesaler has complete control over that. But starting your own business, even if it's retail and you're being tied down to a distributor, it's a completely freeing experience because it allows you to take your passion of something to the next level. So if you really enjoy cigars, I know I'm throwing a lot of examples out there, because if you have a passion for something, you can set up a business and you can monetize it and you can make your money back. And then you can take this passion and you can pass the passion on to people around you. So if you have a passion for cigars, as I stated, you can make this really cool cigar bar or whatever and fashion it to people that are around you and give them the passion that you have. So if you really like a brand of cigar or whatever, and you like certain features of it, you can talk about it. You can highlight the product. That's all it takes is your passion for a product can help drive you sales, but also it builds a customer base. If you're passionate about a project, it's easier to sell because you know the ins and outs of it. And if you're producing a product yourself, like coffee, candles, plastics, whatever, you know the ins and outs. You know how you're making the product. So you can, if a customer has a question, you can answer the question directly and you can make sure that they have all the information they need to know. which allows the customer to feel a lot more safe when it comes to buying the product because they know what's going in, they know what the result is. And if there's a faulty product that you produced, you can remedy it. You have complete control of fixing it. But if you're buying it from a wholesaler or a distributor, you can't remedy it. You have to figure out a way to get back to your distributor, and the distributor get back to the producer, or you have to figure out a way to get back to the wholesaler to try to figure out this way to remedy. But if you're producing the product, you can remedy it yourself. You can send them out another product. You can send them out another product with a free sample, and you can build returning customers because they know what you're about. They know what you're producing. They know what's going in, and you can be completely open and transparent. Now, another great thing about starting a business is you have full control of marketing. You have full control over, as I said, you have full control of everything with your own business. You're not under anyone. You are the person that's running the whole thing. When it comes to marketing and you like certain things, like if you really enjoyed live streaming on TikTok, you can live stream on TikTok of you making your candles or of you using your coffee beans to make espresso and having people try it in front of the camera and review it. If you enjoy something and you like creative outlets, explore those. Find ways to promote your business through those outlets. Make sure you don't focus. Here's one thing that I really learned, and I think it's really important, is if you're passionate about a product, don't let your passion fade. It's very easy to go past the line of, if there's a line here, it's very easy to take that step across and your passion level's here, but then you step up to here and you lose your passion because all you see for the rest of your business is just business. You no longer see this product that should be coveted. You no longer see something that's worth shouting from the mountains. You just see a customer that walks in. You don't see as a person that you can build a relationship. You just see them as someone that can give you money and a way to make money. And that's a big lesson I learned, is when you are running a business, don't think of the customer as just a customer. Think of them as a human being, because that's what they are. They are humans. And I've seen so many businesses just completely forget that they're dealing with a human and go into full robot mode and just completely remove the humanity out of it. That's what makes some businesses really thrive, is being human, having a sense of humanity. Sometimes being imperfect as a human is what drives more customers to you, because they know, oh, I'm not dealing with a robot, I'm dealing with an actual human. So being human is a really important thing about being a business owner. Now, that obviously sounds super simple and super easy, like, duh, you need to be human to be a human. But you need to make sure that you're building the relationship, you're building a sustainable source of happiness and love, that where if you have a brick and mortar, when the buyer or the customer comes in, they feel welcome. They feel happy to be there. They feel like they're understood by the staff. They're understood by you. They understand that their needs are going to be met at whatever cost. Let's say obviously I'm going back to the candles. If they want a winter smelling candle, but you have nothing on the shelf, to know that you can provide a sample for them and be like, hey, this is our winter options. What out of these would you like? And you make it for them and you make sure you meet their needs. So that's a big thing. Making sure you understand your customers' needs, understanding how you can help them out, and understanding how to put your customers and make them feel welcome and make them feel loved. And that's why some companies like Chick-fil-A are exploding in popularity. It's because when you walk in, everyone behind the counter shouts, "Welcome to Chick-fil-A." Or whenever you're leaving or you say thank you, they say "my pleasure." And it's genuine. It's because they're human that some businesses are exploding. Now, businesses like Amazon kind of ruin all of that being human and stuff because they run a lot with robots. But at the same time, the things that are being sold on Amazon, you don't necessarily need a human to experience. But if you're buying candles or you're buying cigars or you're buying coffee, sometimes having someone to talk about that knows a little bit more about the product can really be a benefit. So knowing like, oh, so this is a soy-based candle, what does that mean? And having someone explain, I don't know what a soy-based candle is. I just know sometimes Yankee Candles have soy in it. So I'm just talking out of my butt. But with coffee, if they're like, oh, this is a Nicaraguan blend, and it allows for more acidic flavors to come through, but also has a fruity aftertaste or whatever, as again, I'm talking out my butt. Or if it's a Hawaiian coffee, you get a more nutty, you get a more aromatic, sweeter, less acidity. And just being able to talk to someone that knows and understands beans and what goes into the product, you can be that source of knowledge that you can turn this customer into not just a customer, but a fan, but also a person that wants to continue this relationship. Because once you start welcoming people, once you start making people feel loved and feeling that you're not there just to take their money, they're going to keep on coming back. They're going to bring their friends, because if you build when you're building a business, don't just think of it as building a business. Think of it as building a community. If you're setting up a brick and mortar, think about it that I'm setting up this brick and mortar not just to make myself money, but to help the community around me. And if you're going to open up a business, frankly, if you can't think of it of any way of benefiting the community, frankly, don't open it. Or just do it completely online. Because in some ways, you can benefit the community. And that's what's really cool, is you have that freedom to be like, okay, I don't think it's going to benefit the community around me, so being online will allow for me to still make money and build those relationships with people across the world. But at the same time, I'm not constraining the community. So it allows you to be more conscious as an entrepreneur. It allows you to be more conscious as a business owner. So that's all you have to be. So out of this whole video, I hope you realize that one thing is you need to be conscious about what your customers want, what their needs are. You need to make them feel welcomed. You need to make them feel happy. You need to make the customers important. You need to make sure that the community around your business is thriving, that you water the plants, you make sure they're fertilized, you make sure that this tree of business you're growing doesn't just die and wither, that you're actually pouring into it and you're making it thrive. And the fifth thing is just make sure that you're human, because people are tired of working with robots. They love interacting with humans that they can understand and that they can yin and yang with, that they can push and pull. There's a relationship and rapport there. And that's what's really cool about running a business. Now, I brought up working at Chick-fil-A, but I brought up Chick-fil-A and working as umpire. And that's the thing is, as an umpire, people are expecting the umpires to be robotic and not be able to laugh or smile. But when you would laugh or smile, the parents and the kids would just have a greater time playing baseball. But when I worked at Chick-fil-A, when you greet someone with a smile, you make them feel welcomed, they have this loving experience with them. I see the same people coming back and back. They become regulars because they want to feel that welcomeness. Because some people, frankly, they don't feel welcome in their own lives. They don't feel welcome in the community around them. So if you make someone feel loved, you may not just have a customer. You may not just have a relationship. You may just build a friend. And you may build a bunch of friends, then build a community. And this community can help build the community that actually surrounds you. And it's a beautiful thing. So don't think of a business as just a thing that you can just throw in the pond and it'll blossom and turn into a great big tree. Think of it as a infant tree that you have to plant, water, nourish, give it fertilizer, and help it thrive, trim the dying branches, and allow it just to build to the sky. If you try to build something way too quick, you may fly too close to the sun and your wings will melt. But if you build it slow, you go steady, and you just make sure you focus on the small things, because the small things are what customers are going to notice. You're going to be able to relate to a lot of them and be able to just bring a sense of love and community. And out of this whole video, I know it's kind of been a ramble, but that's what I wanted to make sure you understood. And what I learned as a business owner is building a community and making people feel loved is at the utmost importance. Now, with that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like on the video, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And if you want to see anything in the future, make sure you head to the comment section and leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see and if there's anything that you wish I covered. With that being said, it is a Monday Sausage signing out. See ya!